Very nice to meet you, Jen.
Good seeing you again.
Very nice to meet you. So, you're both involved in SAG, this organization, and a lot of the deeper work that this organization does. Please tell me about what you hope an award ceremony like this brings awareness to in context of what you're working on.
Well, you know, being the chairman of the SAG Awards Show Committee, we, long before all of the harassment things came out, we decided this year we'd celebrate women and we would have all female presenters. Because we really feel it's, you know, after the Women's March in January, last January, we really felt there was a groundswell of feeling about women's equality. And so then when all of the bad news started coming out, we really felt strongly that we wanted a host and a female host. So we have Kristen Bell, who's one of the most charming women in the world. And I mean, we want the issue of women's equality in our business and in all other businesses. We want that to be in the forefront, of course, but we also want to celebrate our brilliant performances, our brilliant men who work with us, and there's so many great men. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I mean, look, the best part about the SAG Awards is that it's this great dinner party where people come together and have conversations about what is the craft of acting, what were the best performances this year, and what's fun about tonight is that it's going to be a way to have a conversation about what is this relationship between men and women. What is that, and how do we make sure that it gets closer to equality? And so that's going to be the conversation in the room. It's going to be part of the conversation when people go up on stage, I'm sure. So it's going to be a great night to help amplify this voice that's been coming across the entire country for the last few months.
And people are going to have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's going to be a good time.
And eat good food.
Did we mention there was liquor on the table? That there was wine? Did we mention that was in the room? Yeah.
As performers yourself, can you describe the moments in both of your careers when you realized that actors have this power to use a platform to reach people and really make change?
You know, it's funny. I was doing a show. It was one of the first series I ever did for Shonda Rhimes, and it was a medical show set in the jungle. And the episode was about pediatric cancer. There was people who were coming to adopt a child. It turns out the child had cancer, and one of the parents couldn't handle that. The other one could, and it was a really touching episode. But I thought, we're just making TV. And then on social media, and at the time I wasn't really trying to do social media, I got this outpouring of love from the pediatric cancer community. Parents whose children are going through incredibly hard times, and they were saying, just thank you for making people remember that we're here. And so I've gotten very involved in that community, and made me realize, you know, it was one of those moments that distinctly where I realized the power that we have to amplify the voice of a community, be it people who are ill in a certain way, or in this case, gender, equality and that sort of thing. So it was one of those times where I realized, yeah, okay, what we do is actually important.
I did a play, this is some years ago, and I played the mother of a boy who committed suicide. And we did a talkback panel once a week. And those were the most moving experiences I have ever had, of the people who came to see that show who had dealt with suicide in some way, and who said, as hard as it is to watch it, it is so important to us that it is out there, that people are talking about it, that it is an issue of conversation. And I was bowled over by thinking that we in some way could help in that way.
And very lastly, your Grey's Anatomy colleague, Ellen Pompeo, recently gave this great transparent interview about, you know, her experience getting paid as a woman in Hollywood, getting paid. What was your reaction to that? And JoBeth as well, as a woman working in Hollywood, how important do you both feel like it is to have those conversations sort of out in the open?
I think it's about time. You know, really, time's up. I mean, I was a feminist in the late 60s, and we all thought equal pay for equal work, that's going to happen. It's going to happen in the next few years. Didn't happen. Still hasn't happened. I think it's time.
Yeah, I mean, look, first off, I love me some Ellen Pompeo. She's taken on the mantle. She doesn't just lead the show. She takes that ball and runs with it so hard. And she's from Boston, so she does not hold her tongue very well at all. She will tell you exactly what she thinks, and it's one of the best things about her. People talking about money, it's one of those things that we need to pull back. The transparency, you mentioned the word transparency, that is the most useful thing right now, is for us to be honest and have this open conversation about what's happening. And because, I mean, the other part is that what people are earning really has to do with who's cutting the checks. When the people in power are all men, then you're fighting for equality. When they're all white heterosexual males, then that sets up one situation. So when that room, when that little Illuminati starts to change, when that gets more diverse, then you're going to start to have a lot more economics. I mean, it's no accident that Ellen's on a show that's run by women on a network that has a lot of women running things. That she's able to have a payday like that men have been getting for decades. So.
Let's also remember that the top 3 grossing films last year all had female leads, and they did really well.
Thank you both. Have a great time.
Thank you.
Jason George and JoBeth Williams.